Jayong Vishnupad Paramhansha Paribrajaka Ashtottara Shato Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaru Binda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayong Vishnupad Paramhansha Paribrajaka Ashtottara Shato Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Disappearance Day celebration Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurango. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namong Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatta Dishatarine. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. As it has been declared on the board, today is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Disappearance Day. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. He was also the son of an illustrious spiritual personality, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings was lost soon after his disappearance. And at that time, people may have known about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but what was going on in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was extremely abominable. There are a group of people called Sahajiyas. Those were also known as Apa Sampradaya. Sampradaya is the spiritual line. But this line was a deviant line. They had nothing to do with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they were kind of, in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are indulging in all kinds of sinful activities. Meat eating, fish eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling. All four pillars, all four legs of sin were cultivated by these people. And as a result of that, naturally, cultured, educated people did not want to have anything to do with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They thought this is what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So at that time, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur came and he started to revive the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He very powerfully started to declare, started to point out, no, that's not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings is absolute spiritual teachings. That is the real path of spiritual progress. And he established the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the basis of the scriptures, like Chaitanya Charitamrita. But the situation at that time was so unfortunate that Chaitanya Charitamrita was not available. Bhaktivinoda Thakur heard about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, but he couldn't find a single copy in Bengal. He was a very influential person. He was a deputy magistrate of the British government. So he had a lot of influence, but in spite of an extensive search, he couldn't find a single volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Finally, he got one copy, not in Bengal, in Orissa. Mr. Kali removed all Chaitanya Charitamrita from Bengal. And then he took Chaitanya Charitamrita and gave his commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita called Amrita Prabaha Bhashya. The nectarian flow of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. The commentary giving the nectarian flow of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So this is how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur started to revive Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And although Bhaktivinoda Thakur tried very extensively, he did. Then he discovered Mahaprabhu's real birthplace. Those unscrupulous people, those Sahajiyas, they claimed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dham also was lost at that time. Navadvip dham was lost. Mayapur was lost. So those people started to claim one place as Mahaprabhu's birthplace, Mahaprabhu's place of pastimes, on the other side of the Ganges. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur discovered through a transcendental vision that the actual place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. That is today's Mayapur. So he had a vision. In the evening, he was sitting, his house was on the other side of the river Jalangi. There is two rivers coming, Ganga and Jalangi, and meeting at that point. So on the other side of the river Jalangi, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had his place. He was the magistrate of Krishnanagar, which was the district capital, and he decided to stay quite far away from Krishnanagar because he wanted to stay close to Mahaprabhu's place of pastimes. And one evening when he was sitting on the roof doing some work with his secretary, he found, all of a sudden he had a vision. The other side of the river lit up with a beautiful light, and in that light he saw a city. In that city he saw devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanting and dancing. he asked his clerk who was assisting him at that time whether he saw something. But the clerk did not see anything. But his son was there. One of his sons, not Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or could have been Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I am not sure about that. He asked him and he said yes. He also described the same sight, same vision. So the next morning, Bhaktivinoda Thakur went across the river, went to that place, and he found that it was a village of the Muslims. And there he found a neem tree, and around that neem tree there were a forest of tulasi, a vast growth of tulasi. Now the Muslims don't cultivate tulasi, and tulasi doesn't go in an unholy place also. And so he inquired the name of the place, and he was told that the name of the place was Miyapur. So he kind of felt that maybe this is the place. But still, to confirm it, he approached Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He was considered to be the crest jewel of the Vaishnava community, the monarch of the Vaishnava community at that time, Vaishnava Sarvabhauma. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was 140 years old at that time. You can well imagine, 140 years old, he couldn't stand up, he could at the most sit up, and his body was bent with age, very, very old. He had a servant called Bihari. When Jagannath Das Babaji had to go somewhere, he used to carry him in a basket. He used to make Jagannath Das Babaji sit on a basket, and he used to carry him on a basket. So that is how old he was. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur went and requested him to come and see that place, which he thought to be the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course he didn't bring Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj in a basket. He made palanquin to carry him, so he was brought there. And just appearing at that place, just coming to that place, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj stood up and started to dance with his arms raised upwards, saying, "This is the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Eito Mahaprabhu Janmasthan, Eito Mahaprabhu Janmasthan." And he started to dance. It is said that he was jumping high up. The person who couldn't even stand up, he was dancing in ecstasy. That's another transcendental pastimes of a Vaishnava, pure devotee of the Lord. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur rediscovered, retrieved Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place of birth and pastimes. And that's why Jagannath Das Babaji is, what do we say in his prayers? How many of you remember Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's prayers? Gaura Virbhava Bhumestang. The personality who discovered the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth, appearance. Gaura Avirbhava Bhumi. Bhumi means land. Bhumestang. Nirdeshta, he indicated. Sajjana Priya. The personality who is very, very dear to the saintly personalities. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur retrieved Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place of appearance, and he also revived Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And what he did, eventually he retired, and actually he was so desperate to be near Mahaprabhu's place of pastimes that he wrote to the British government his principles at that time, and suggested that he would like to be near there, Krishnanagar. So when they were hesitating to give him a transfer, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to resign. So then when he wanted to resign, and he was such an efficient person that they changed their mind and made him come there. But eventually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur did take premature retirement. And now a big personality like him, a big government executive, magistrate, those days, that was the highest position that an Indian could have. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that person was going from door to door in Calcutta, asking for just 1 rupee to build a temple at Mahaprabhu's birthplace. So he did that. He built a temple there. But he could not preach so effectively because he was, to begin with, a government officer, then retired. But when he was before he retired actually, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he was the magistrate of Jagannath Puri also and the custodian of Jagannath Puri temple. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed to Lord Jagannath to send him an able assistant who could help him in his mission to spread Mahaprabhu's glory. And as a result of that, Jagannath sent a very special personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just do you have a picture of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Just put one on the screen. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared in Jagannath Puri. And one wonderful thing happened when Jagannath's chariot festival, Ratha Yatra, was going on. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house was on that road itself, where Jagannath's Rath cart goes from Puri temple to Gundicha temple. And when the Rath came in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, chariot stopped. It happens often. Jagannath sometimes decides not to move. And when Jagannath decides not to move, then who can move him? People, not only people, elephants and all kinds of things. During Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also that used to happen. Jagannath's chariot used to stop. Nothing could make Jagannath move. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go at the back of the chariot and with his head he would just push it. And immediately chariot started to move. Similarly, the chariot stopped in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. Rath would move. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife, Bhagavati Devi, she thought it's an opportunity to go and have the blessings of Lord Jagannath to the child. So she took the little child and took him to Lord Jagannath's chariot and placed him on at Jagannath's lotus feet. Then what happened? Jagannath's garland fell on the child, indicating that he is the chosen one, that he sent. So that's how remarkable Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was, right from his birth. Another amazing thing happened at the time of his birth. The umbilical cord was wrapped around his torso as a Brahmin thread. Born Brahmin. He was extremely brilliant. He was a Shrutidhar. He could remember whatever he heard. It is said that even few days before his departure from this planet, disappearance pastimes, he could remember things that he read 50 years back. And he could recite. In his young age only, as a little child, he memorized Bhagavad Gita. And he was extremely spiritually inclined. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was 6 years old, gave him initiation in Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Nrsimha Mantra, and taught him how to worship Kurma Dev and Nrsimha Dev. So you can see what an auspicious way to start his life. From his childhood, he was such an exemplary person. He was considered to be the greatest astrologer of that time, Jyotish Shastra. So the community of the astrologers at that time actually gave him the title Siddhanta Saraswati. Siddhanta Saraswati. And from his childhood, he grew up extremely brilliant, and he was assisting Bhaktivinoda Thakur in editing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was printing a magazine called Sajjan Toshani, and he was printing various books, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to edit them from his early days. And when he grew up, he wanted to take initiation. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur suggested that you take initiation from Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was another illustrious spiritual personality. But he was illiterate. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur approached him. Please give me initiation. He said, what? You are the greatest scholar of all time and I am illiterate. How am I going to give you initiation? Forget it. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur kept on telling him. His name was Bimala Prasad. He kept on insisting that in the spiritual platform there is no consideration. Material education is not important. What really matters is devotion to Krishna. So please don't deprive me on the basis of your so-called illiteracy. Then Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj said, okay, I'll ask Krishna. So days, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came, and so, will you please give me initiation? Oh, I forgot ask Krishna. Again, after a few days, he went and asked. And so he said, he gave some answer which was also not favorable. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, please don't deceive me like that. I know you are the follower of the greatest deceiver. So please don't deceive me. But still, when Bhakti Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj would not agree, so he decided that, well, if you don't give me an initiation, I'll give up my life. So finally, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj agreed to give him initiation. He was the only disciple that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted. And he gave the name Barshabhanavi Devi Dvaita Das. Apparently he was illiterate, but consider what a name he gave. Barshabhanavi, the word Barshabhanavi indicates Srimati Radharani, who is the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Barshabhanavi Devi, Dvaitaya, of her lovers, her lord and masters, Dvaita Das, servant of that personality. Servant of Krishna, who is the beloved lord and master of the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. What a beautiful name. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur decided to preach. And before that, he decided to prepare himself. And the preparation is to chant Lakho Koti Nam, 100,000 crore names. And he did that by chanting constantly, sitting on the bank of the Ganges in Mayapur. Those days in Mayapur there was nothing. Nothing there. He made a kind of a hut, and he used to sit there and chant on the bank of the Ganges. The hut, the roof, sometimes the water would come. The roof was not strong enough. When it rained, and he used to sit under an umbrella in that room, in that cottage, and he used to chant. In 1914, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur left the planet. 2 years before that, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj also left the planet. Especially when Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur left, the responsibility came to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to continue. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, at that time the preaching was through writing, mainly. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took up the publication of magazines and books that Bhaktivinoda Thakur started. And gradually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established 3 printing presses. One in Madras, one in Calcutta, one in Krishnanagar. He used to call the printing press as Brihat Mridanga, the big mridangas. Ordinary mridanga makes the sound with kirtan, that sound reaches only to some area, some extent. But this mridanga, its sound reaches far and wide. So he started his preaching. He was such a powerful preacher that he got a title, Singha Guru, Lion Guru. And he was so powerful, like a lion, just like when the lion comes out, the jackals and other such animals run away. So, seeing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all those Sahajiyas and Mayavadis, they used to run away. They used to literally run away. When they saw him coming this way, they used to run that way. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur made the challenges, various challenges. One challenge he made, it was when Bhakti Vinod Thakur was present. Some scholarly personalities organized a conference or a debate, like who is greater, a Brahmana or a Vaishnava? Because the Brahmanas are very proud of themselves, but actually Vaishnava's situation is higher than the Brahmanas. But the Brahmanas naturally would not accept it. So there was a conference and assembly of scholarly people to decide who is greater, Brahmana, whose situation is greater, higher, Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. So they invited Bhakti Vinod Thakur to that assembly. But at that time Bhakti Vinod Thakur was very sick and he was feeling very, very sad, very concerned that what will happen. They have invited me to speak and I am so sick, I can't go there. Sad hearing that, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was quite young at that time, he said, Father, I'll go. And so Bhakti Vinod Thakur blessed him, okay. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to that assembly in a place called Balighai in Bengal. And so when the time came, different scholars came, gave their presentations. But when it came to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what he did, he started to glorify the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are this, they are in the highest level, Brahman realized individuals, and so the Brahmanas were very excited, glorifying the Brahmanas. But then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur pointed out, although Brahmanas are the greatest, but the Vaishnavas are the greater than the greatest. That situation of the Brahmanas are on the material platform. In the material nature, the highest mode is the mode of goodness. So those who are situated in the mode of goodness, they are Brahmanas. But beyond that is the spiritual world. And Vaishnavas are situated on the spiritual world. Their situation is not in the material nature. A Vaishnava's situation is on the spiritual world. So this is how, as a young man, he defeated those Brahmanas and established the supreme spiritual position of the Vaishnavas. And that book is still available. His lecture is presented in a book called Brahman O Vaishnava, Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. It has also been translated into English. So this is how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started to preach. And he felt that in order to preach effectively, there's a need to accept sannyas. So at that time, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj already left the planet. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took in sannyas from the picture of Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And he assumed the title Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. That was in 1918. Then in 1919 he came to Calcutta and started to preach. And his preaching was very, very powerful. He was establishing Krishna consciousness, which is the highest spiritual understanding. Now we can see that now that we are practicing the culture of Krishna consciousness, we can see this is actually the highest, the understanding or awareness and recognition of the highest spiritual domain. What is the spiritual domain? This is the material nature. Material nature is the region of darkness. This is the world of darkness. Only the sun comes up and moon comes up, and there is fire, there is light. If sun and moon and fire was not there, there wouldn't have been any light. Not only there wouldn't have been any light, there wouldn't have been any life also. Because without sun, there is no possibility of life. The food that we get actually comes from the sun. The trees flourish due to the rays of sun. And the fruits and other food grains get the substance from moon. Sun actually gives the life to the trees and plants, and moon gives the juice that there are in the fruits and grains, food grains and other edible stuffs that moon gives. Nectar. Moon has the nectar, and that's how the nectar comes in the food stuff. Anyway, that's why I was saying that without sun, there wouldn't have been any life here. So, this is the world of darkness. But beyond this world of darkness is Brahma Jyoti. Beyond this nature of darkness is Brahma Jyoti, the spiritual light. So this is the world of darkness, that's the world of light. The light permeates the whole spiritual domain. And there are spiritual planets. They are known as Vaikuntha, where the Lord is present with his associates. Spiritual planets. And then in the upper region of the Vaikuntha is Ayodhya, where Lord Ramchandra performs his pastimes. Then Dwarka, where Krishna Chandra performs his pastimes. Then Mathura Mandal. And the topmost region of Mathura Mandal is Golok, Vrindavan. So that is the spiritual world. So those who are devotees of Krishna, where they are located. Although sometimes we say Vaikuntha, but actually devotee situation is beyond Vaikuntha. They are in Vrindavan. So that's the topmost region. And Golok has two chambers, two areas. One is Vrindavan, the other is Navadvip. Vrindavan, Krishna performs his pastimes, and in Navadvip, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes. Same Krishna. Manifests himself as a devotee. So that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna in Vrindavan is enjoying Krishna Prem, loving exchange with his devotees. And the same Krishna as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing that Krishna Prem. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishna Prem, he is distributing Krishna Prem. Krishnaya is Krishna himself, Krishna Chaitanya Namne. Now he has appeared as Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this way we can see that it's not just some sentimental claim. Oh, our situation is the best. And that way, in the material nature at least, everyone thinks he is the best and whatever he does is best. But it's not that consideration. It's a understanding through scriptures, understanding through spiritual knowledge. That's why sometimes when I get in, sometimes some people get into some arguments. And my claim, I tell them that, look, this is the best I found. Krishna consciousness is the best I found. If you have anything better than this, please give it to me, I'll accept it. How can I make such a challenge, so to say? Is it that I am just saying it just for the sake of it? No. Because I know there is nothing higher than this. Nothing higher than this in the spiritual domain. This is the highest. And yes, if there is anything higher, we are ready to take it. Why shouldn't we? We are in business. And in business, when you get something better and greater, naturally you go for that. So that is our stand. This is the highest, and there is nothing higher than this. So that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur very, very powerfully established. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had many disciples. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to spread this movement all over the world, or at least take it outside of India. He sent 3 of his disciples to England to preach. He sponsored them, but after some time they all came back. They didn't succeed, they couldn't make any impression there. But his one disciple, whom he met in 1922, when this person was 26 years old, a householder, had a family, had a child. So had a family, but he actually took up that mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to his heart, right at that time. And eventually he went there in 1965. And within 10 years' time, he fulfilled the dream of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Within 10 years' time, he spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And he made the arrangement that this mission would continue for years and years to come, thousands of years to come. And that is his ISKCON. The arrangement that Srila Prabhupada made through ISKCON is a very special arrangement. Because Prabhupada saw that he won't be able to continue for very long, although he effectively spread, but he was on this planet only for a few more years. But how to continue the mission? Generally, soon after that, such a personality, his mission disintegrates. Just as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission disintegrated actually. Because his followers couldn't understand his instruction. He told them that create a governing body and collectively continue the mission. But they did not follow that instruction. Instead of forming a governing body, one group decided how can a spiritual institution run without a spiritual personality heading it. We need an acharya. So they appointed an acharya, and the acharya fell down. So the mission was lost. Mission collapsed. And another group, they said that he is the chosen one, and they started to fight among these two groups, started to fight. And the mission practically came to a grinding halt. That was in 1936, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left the planet on this very day. And soon after that, there was a conflict among the inmates, especially the leaders of the movement at the time. And they went to the court about ownership of the property and things like that. And the court case is still going on. That's the regular feature of court cases. You take it to the court and you're getting into a never-ending strife. So Prabhupada actually warned us, don't go to court. And he gave us the example, see what they have done. And we are seeing that, unfortunately, ISKCON was also drawn into some sort of court battles. And it's going on. And it's like a mirage. Just the decision is coming in 3 days. And it never comes. The judge couldn't come to the court. So the next date is after 6 months. So again you go in the 6 months, the judge has retired. A new judge has come. So the new judge has to go through the case. So he'll take 2 years. And it just goes on and on and on. Prabhupada also made another very, very important point. That the courts are actually the place of Kali. in this age. They don't resolve the quarrel, they enhance the quarrel. Anyway, so we can see that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had one disciple who actually took his mission and fulfilled his desire, and which was actually the prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had implicit faith that Krishna consciousness movement would spread all over the world. As early as in 1894, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a book, The Life and Precepts of Lord Chaitanya. And in that, mind you, in 1896, when India was under the British rule, Indians were thinking that everything Indian is bad, and everything foreign is the best. West is the best. So when Indians were suffering from such a complex, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is declaring that in course of time, this movement would spread all over the world. He's simply quoting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that's the thing that a devotee does. He doesn't think that I am saying it. His thing is, the Lord said it. And the Lord's words will never go in vain. So he boldly declares, it will happen. Of course, it's not that he didn't know how and why it will happen, but his very basis of his claim is the scripture, the statement of the Lord and his pure devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted 500 years ago, in every town and village, this Krishna consciousness movement was spread. পৃথিবীতে আছে যত নগরাদি গ্রাম সর্বত্র প্রচার হইবে মোর নাম. So this is how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission was continuing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that, and all the religions of this world will come under the umbrella of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, because ultimately there is one religion. It's not that different religions are there. They are not different. They're different ways and language. They are being presented. The same thing is being presented in different format. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they all are saying the same thing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jivatma, the living entities are not their body, their spirit soul. This is the essential teaching. The living entities are spiritual entities, they are subservient to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they came from another world. Beyond this material nature, there is another reality, the spiritual world. So in essence, all the religions are speaking about the same thing. So when that understanding becomes clear, then they'll all become harmoniously coexisting. This due to their misunderstanding and lack of understanding that there are differences. Otherwise, religion is just one. And the way this Krishna consciousness movement is giving the perfect and complete understanding of what religion is. So that's why all religions will merge or come under the umbrella of the same teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Last summer I had a situation like that. I was in London. There was a program in the house of one very important Indian. He is one of the richest Indians. And generally when I go to London, he makes arrangements for some program in his house. So many people were invited. Naturally, there are quite important people who are invited, successful people. And one person is quite youngish. He must have been about in his 30s or early 40s. So he asked me a question, what is the difference between religion and spirituality? Because nowadays in the West, the spirituality is a big thing. Like many people, they say that they don't have religion, but they believe in spirituality. As a matter of fact, in UK, in England, 56% of the people say that they don't have any religion. In UK, 56% people don't have religion. But many of them believe in spirituality. That means, and of course, what is their understanding of spirituality is another thing. The spirituality coming from Ramdev Baba or what's his name, Sri Ravi Shankar, just to name a few. Anyway, spirituality. Another Deepak Chopra. Anyway, so he asked me, during question answer session, he asked, what is the difference between religion and spirituality? So my answer to that was, so before that I'll just make one point. Prabhupada always emphatically told us that Krishna consciousness is not a faith. Krishna consciousness is science. Right? We must present it as a science. We have to present. So anyway, taking the cue from that, I just pointed out that religion is the means to understand the spiritual reality. Religion is the means to understand the spiritual reality. Beyond this material nature, there is another reality, spiritual reality. And religion is the means to understand that. And then I said that just as physics is the means to understand energy, chemistry is the means to understand elements, mathematics is the means to understand number. Similarly, religion is the means to understand the spiritual reality. So just as physics is science, chemistry is science, mathematics is science, religion is a science. And so anyway, so after, this was very well received. So much so that the lecture went on till question answer ended at 9 o'clock, around 9 o'clock. And then there was dinner. So the table I was sitting, people just kept on coming. Others were sitting there and they couldn't sit. They were just I was sitting here and they were next to me. Some of them kneeling down, some of them were sitting. And this question answer session continued till 11 o'clock. And then also I had to say, now let's go. It's already. So that shows. Like, in one hand, the people are interested. Some people are interested when they get the right kind of answer. And we have the right answer. We can answer. We can fulfill any doubts and any question anybody may have, provided they're sincere. So, this is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to establish. And fortunately, Srila Prabhupada took that mission of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and gave it the main thrust. And it is continuing. Therefore, we the members of ISKCON has a very, very important responsibility. Every single member of ISKCON, we have the responsibility to push this movement forward. And it's happening. Just the other day when I was in Calcutta in a program, I actually mentioned that when I was a new devotee, joined in Mayapur, there was hardly any Indian. It was all whites. No brown. Most of the devotees were from America and Europe and Australia. And I was a rare commodity there. I was one of the very few Indians there. And few Indians that were there hardly anyone was educated or literate. There were some people took shelter like that. And today, look, even in a remote corner of this world called Ujjain, we have a few thousand devotees. Wherever we go, thousands of devotees. Radhanath Maharaj took Jatra in Puri. There were 6,000 devotees, just in a pilgrimage. Of course, I don't go in for that kind of number. I also had a pilgrimage, but I had only 110 devotees. But I think it was better that way because they can, it's more, anyway. But the thing is that I had a program in Calcutta. The temple was not large enough, so they had to rent an auditorium. The auditorium has a capacity of 800. That's about all they could, but there were 2,000 people wanting to come to the program. So this is the response that you're getting. In Mayapur, I have a program from 4th to 6th, another seminar. And they could accommodate only 2,500. But Vishnujan, who is organizing the program, he said, Maharaj, I don't know what to do. All the outside hotels have been booked up and everything has been booked up. But we can accommodate only 2,500. But about 4,000 people want to come. That's besides those who are living in Mayapur. And what to speak of, this movement. Like as I was saying, like Radhanath Maharaj took a part, Jatra was 6,000. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj takes a Jatra. That also has 5,000-6,000 devotees. So, and our Mayapur festival, I know about 3 years back, the participation was 10,000. And it's increasing every year. So what does it indicate? This movement is growing or diminishing? So that's a good sign. And why it's growing? Because you all have come. Right? And now that you all have come, what are you going to do? Make it grow. That's how the family business is going to grow. So this is how wonderfully Krishna consciousness movement is growing. That's a very good sign. And we are very fortunate that we found this process. Where will you find personalities like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Such a brilliant personality. Where will you find personality like Bhakti Vinod Thakur? Holding such a big government position. But he's going out from door to door begging. Not much, just one rupee. Of course, those 1 rupee was a lot of money. Probably 1 rupee those days was today's 1,000 rupees or so. Like I have seen how rupees value dropped. The other day, somebody bought some vest for me. I asked how much it cost. He said 350 rupees. And I told I used to buy it for 3 rupees. So things have gone up by 100 times. Anyway, so let the value of money drop and let everything drop materially. Let Krishna consciousness flourish. In order to become proper descendants of personalities like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, we have to take up our forefathers' mission. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Whoever you see, just give him, advise him, upadesh, instruct him about Krishna consciousness. And we are seeing the effect of that. Is Sitanath here? Okay. So he goes out distributing books. And he brings people from all over. Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. Just preaching. He and his team. Apparently a simple book distributor, but having such wonderful effect. So thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Okay, already 9:15. Is it fasting today? Yeah. Okay, so we can go a little longer since there is no breakfast. Does anybody have any question? Give him the mic. Vibhu Chaitanya sitting next to me and he is writing a question. Now Krishna consciousness, mukam karati bachala. Not bachala karati mukha. You read it out. Not with left hand. Give him the mic. Where's the cordless mic? Don't you have a cordless mic? Anyway, I can hear you. What color is it? Are you from another sampradaya? Okay.
Is there any particular significance to the fact that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was taught to worship Kurmadev and Nrsimhadev?
Good point, yeah, very good. It is said that he gave the worship of Kurmadev. Actually, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was digging the foundation of his house, he was building a house in Calcutta. And while they were digging, they found this Kurma-shila, Kurma Dev, deity of Kurma. And so he gave this to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to worship. You see, Krishna consciousness is based on rasa. Devotional service is based on melos. Melo means rasa. Rasa is liquid, right? And Kurmadev is the Lord of the liquid, right? Lord of rasas, therefore he gave him. And Nrsimhadev, because Nrsimhadev is Bhakti Bigna Vinasan, he removes the impediments from the path of devotion. Therefore, gave him the worship of Nrsimhadev.
The second is a follow-up question more like. So he approached Gaur Vishwadas Babaji Maharaj for second initiation, Brahmana initiation.
got initiated. You see, the thing is, yeah, it is like Harinam does not require Diksha. We see in ISKCON, to be qualified for Diksha, one chants Harinam. Right? Because Mahaprabhu gave the Harinam to anyone and everyone. So therefore, Harinam doesn't really require Diksha. Diksha Purascharya Vidhi Apekshana Kare. So initiation actually means Gayatri through Brahmin thread. So that's what he got from Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. Yes, Radha Pyari.
Hare Krishna. My question is related to your explanation of religion and spirituality. So when we go to the outside ISKCON, and then nowadays people don't believe in religion because of the image which is very distorted outside, because of many different religions fighting among themselves, and also related to based on that if religion tells us what to do, how to do, what not to do, then as an individual, how much should we how to blend religion and the proper spiritual understanding, like the rules and the understanding in a perfect way, because if we go to Manu Smriti, and there are so many rules for women also, but the time has changed so much that women are going out there doing their things. So how to make a perfect
Very good question. And the answer is, come to ISKCON. Because then only you'll get the understanding of real religion. See, that's why what is our... Okay, before that, I will give you another concept. There's an American philosopher. His name is William Durant. Speaking about religion, especially he was speaking about Christianity, but he actually implied it to all religions, so to say, and which is true. He said, religion remains a religion for first few years. Then it becomes a philosophy. Then it becomes a spiritual, then it becomes a political convenience. And then it becomes a mere ritual. So today, what is happening mostly in the name, as religion, is either political convenience or a ritual. So that is how religions have degenerated. Now, what is Prabhupada is saying? That when some Catholic priests came to meet Srila Prabhupada in New York, speak to Srila Prabhupada in New York and question, why are you converting the Christian boys and girls into Hindus? Prabhupada's response was, no, I'm not converting the Christians into Hindus or Muslims into Jews. I am simply making better Christians out of Christians. I am making the real Christians out of the Christians. Real Muslims out of the Muslims. Real Jews out of the Jews, and real Hindus out of the Hindus. So that is what real religion is. You become properly situated in whatever your religion actually is, in essence. Does it answer your question? Okay, thank you. And also another thing we can say in that respect, Today, if Jesus Christ was here, Moses was here, Muhammad was here, then we would have a wonderful discussion among ourselves, with us. So that's the thing, because, they are self-realized souls. And because they know who Krishna is, because they know what spiritual world is, because they know that all the living entities are not their bodies but the soul, can't we have a wonderful, productive discussion among ourselves? Therefore, we are not against Christianity, we are not against Islam, we are not against Judaism. So many of our devotees are coming from those backgrounds. Our movements in the early days were predominantly Jews, actually. In New York, there was a Jewish shop called 47th Street Photo. And we used to go there because these shops you get very competitive rates, very good price. And they're very busy. They run their shop, because the price is low, the turnover is very high. That's how they make their profit. So I went and with another devotee, Bhaktirupa Prabhu actually. And so the salesman was a Jew. He looks at me and says, "Wow, what a relief to see a non-Jewish Hare Krishna." What a relief to see a non-Jewish Hare Krishna, because like those days there were so many Jewish devotees in ISKCON. So that's the thing. There are Jews, there are Christians, there are Muslims, and they all became Hare Krishna. Right? And when they become devotees of Krishna, that becomes their real identity. They are devotees of Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that everybody has a right to become a devotee of Krishna. There is no consideration of, caste system or you can't be. Chandalopi Dijasreshta. Even a Chandal can become a devotee. And when he becomes a devotee, he becomes greater than a Chandal. So that is what Krishna consciousness is. Any other question? Okay. Yeah, Shampiari. Shampiari had to come after Radha Pyari. Yeah.
Guru Maharaj, recently I am preaching to some girls, and one of the common problems that we face with the young girls is that we can teach them and they are also trying to follow, but they say that often their mothers and fathers get upset when they hear that they are coming to the temple. And their point is, this is a time to make the career. You make your career and then you do whatever you want to do. And therefore some girls actually don't come because they say that what is the point of going, because in return they have to get so much scolding, and some, like actually yesterday when girl was saying,
okay, they should go and tell their mothers that my real career is to get a good husband, so you get me one. Right? The thing is that, okay, what is our real career? That we have to see. Like, we are not saying that you can't have a career if you become a devotee. If you're a hopeless case like that, then it's different. Right? Meaning, like us. We just became full-time Hare Krishna. But the thing is, one can have a career. Like, for example, just here, Radha Pyari. She's having a career. She's a devotee, and she had been a devotee all along, but she continued her studies, and she was one of the toppers in the university. So fine, we should give those examples. She is also, I forgot. Yeah. So you are in Delhi? Yeah. Yeah, sure. She's working in Gale. She had a brilliant career as a student. So it's not that, if you become a devotee, then you can't have a career. You can't do other things. We can do Arjuna is a warrior fighting the battle. So who cannot become a devotee? If Arjuna can become a devotee, who cannot become a devotee? So many of us are actually continuing our Krishna consciousness. As I said, apart from some hopeless cases like us, who become brahmacharis and sannyasis and give up any consideration of career. And that also because, we consider that this is the best career. You know why? Because we will be continuing with our job even after death. All your careers will come to an end at certain age. 60 years old, okay, retire, finish. Whereas our career will go on life after life. So which is a more intelligent proposal? So you got the answer?
Yes. Should they tell this to their parents?
Not that marriage part of it. Because that goes without saying that the parents are already concerned about the marriage. That I said as a kind of a joke. But they can say, well, there are so many girls, they're carrying on. They did so brilliant in their studies. So, because we are going to a temple, that doesn't mean that we'll give up our studies. So they can take the case studies. Do you remember that last year, I think, we took the results of the devotees from the Indore base? My concern was actually that devotees become involved, the students become involved, and my concern was, whether it'll neglect their studies, because the whole morning goes in spiritual programs. Mangala Arati at 4:30, Japa class, Bhagavatam class, Prasadam class. Then they go to the college or university. And my concern was, the whole morning goes in the spiritual activities. If their result is not good, then, their parents will become very upset. And I used to tell them that, don't neglect your studies, because when you're studying, that is your main concern, should be your main concern. And when the result came, everyone did better than before. And I asked them, how did you manage it? The whole morning goes with a spiritual program. You know what was their answer? That the evenings that you used to squander in all kinds of frivolous activities, now we are just using that for our studies. And because we are devotees, we are more focused, and our memories have been improved, and so that's the secret of success. So they should tell their parents, that give me 1 year. Let me go to a temple, let me associate with devotees, and I'll come with the result, and I'll show you that I have improved. Right? Yes. Oh, तुम्हारे प्रश्न नहीं है?
माता जी का गला बहुत खराब हो गया, इसलिए वो बोल रही है मुझे पूछने के लिए।
Okay.
के दिन हमको भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर से, भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर से क्या प्रार्थना करना चाहिए हमारी भक्ति में आगे बढ़ने के लिए?
हाँ, बस श्रील भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर, प्लीज ब्लेस मी दैट मैं भक्ति में आगे बढ़ सकती हूँ। बस हमारा तो केवल एक ही प्रार्थना है कि आपको सेवा बिना, आपको भक्ति बिना और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, केवल मैं ये चाहता हूँ। और ये है आत्मा की सही प्रार्थना। शरीर का प्रार्थना, मन की प्रार्थना होता है, धन देना, जन देना, ये देना, वो देना। बट आत्मा का प्रार्थना क्या होता है? हे भगवान, आपको सेवा में मगन रहने का कृपा दीजिए, कृपा कीजिए। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू। ओके ओके राधा रानी।
During our pilgrimage yatra, I was having a discussion on the table, lunch table, and expressing that one prays, just for every spiritual place we visited, the prayer was, just help me develop taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. And I was told that this cannot be fulfilled by the Lord Himself. This can only be given by the mercy of the spiritual master. And when I asked for a reference, I wasn't given the reference for this.
Who said that?
It was Jayada Harini, Jayapataka Maharaj disciple, Jayada.
Okay. You can take it that way, but the thing is that, spiritual master is only a representative. The ultimate, actually, I think this answer is coming from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kadambini. At the beginning of Madhurya Kadambini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Krishna doesn't give the bhakti. It's Krishna's devotee that gives the bhakti. The point is that if Krishna gave the bhakti and didn't give somebody else the bhakti, then Krishna would have been seen as partial. But Krishna's situation is totally impartial. Samohang sarva bhuteshu. So Krishna may not be partial, but Krishna's devotees are partial. They say that whoever is recipient for this gives it to him. Whoever has Shraddha, he gives it to him. So I think from that she drawn that answer. But praying to, ultimately when we are saying Hare Krishna, who are you praying to? We are praying to Krishna.
So it's a bona fide prayer to ask for? So it's a bona fide prayer to ask for? That wherever you go, Lord, just give me attachment to chanting the holy name, asking nothing else.
Right. Now Mahaprabhu himself is teaching us how to pray. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitang ba jagadisha kamai. Jagadisha Krishna. Mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhakti rahaitu kitvai. That's the prayer to Krishna. Krishna Rupa Siv Sankar from South Africa, currently studying in Philadelphia. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, when we encounter persons following so-called spiritual paths which are not bona fide, should we actively preach to them, discreetly preach, or rather avoid interaction? Yes, Krishna Rupa, it will depend upon the person's receptivity. If the person is receptive, then give them full dose. Right. If the person is not that receptive, then give it accordingly. He may not be ready to hear, but give it to the extent that he can accept. And those who are totally unreceptive, don't waste your time with them. Thank you, Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare.